Let's compare physical changes versus chemical changes. So what is a physical change? Well, a physical change is going to be a change in the form of a substance, but not the composition. So oftentimes with a physical change, we're going to see a change in the state of matter. Not always, but sometimes. So what I mean by a change in the state is when we're going between solid state, liquid state, and gas state. So if you're seeing a change in the state of the substance, but not the composition, that would be a physical change. So the example below is that of water. So the chemical composition of water is H2O. That's its chemical formula. Now, if I have an ice cube, for instance, and that ice cube is made of water, it's in the solid form. If that ice cube were to melt into a liquid form, that would be considered a physical change because it's still water. It's still H2O. If I were then to heat up that liquid water and make steam to get gas, that is also considered a physical change because it's just a change in the state of the matter, but I'm still looking at a chemical composition, H2O. I did not change that chemical formula at all. For physical changes, we don't always see a change in the state of the matter. Sometimes it could simply be a change in the appearance. So what I mean by that, if you have a block of cheese and you shred that cheese so that now you have smaller pieces, that could also be considered a physical change because you went from a large solid block to a shredded block. Both are still the same composition, they're both still cheese, same chemical compounds, they're just now in a different form. So the key for physical change is that no chemical bonds are being broken. Oftentimes, physical changes can be reversed. So thinking of an ice cube, for instance, if an ice cube melts and forms a puddle of liquid water, you could reverse that process by refreezing that liquid into a solid ice form. Now let's look at a chemical change. So for a chemical change, you can also refer to this as a chemical reaction. So chemical changes, we're going to see bonds being broken, new bonds being formed. So we're changing the actual chemical composition of that compound. So it's a process in which atoms are rearranged to produce new combinations. So the example I have below is that of photosynthesis. So for photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water, along with light and chlorophyll, are converted into or chemically changed into sugar and oxygen. So for this process to happen, we're actually seeing bonds being broken and new bonds being formed, classifying it as a chemical change. There are many examples of both physical and chemical changes.